Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm finally going to film my April book haul. In my last video that I posted, I kind of put something in the description that described what's been going on with me lately. I did get into a car accident. Luckily, no one was injured, but I've been having to deal with a lot of issues from that car accident, so I haven't had time to film my book hauls or my wrap-ups or my TBRs. So hopefully within the next few days I will have all of that up. And for the month of April, I got quite a few books because my birthday was at the end of April. So let's just get started with this book haul. So the first book that I got is Rogue by Julie Kagawa. This is the second book in the Talon saga, so I'm really looking forward to this book. I think I read Talon in March and I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars, so I'm really looking forward to getting into this one. My husband got me quite a few things for my birthday as far as books are concerned, and he got me Volume 8 of The Walking Dead and Volume 9 of The Walking Dead. So I will go through these very, very quickly. I love these graphic novels so much, so I can't wait to get into these as well. My mother got me Psych 101, A Crash Course in the Science of the Mind by Paul Kleinman, and I actually really wanted this book. It just covers like basic information about psychology. It covers different figures in psychology like Sigmund Freud and B.F. Skinner. So this is just kind of like a refresher for me later on. If I just decide to flip back through it and get some general information from it, this is what this is for. It's been a long time since I took my general psychology class, so this is just something to keep my mind sharp in this area. My sister-in-law got me Everything That Makes You by, I think it's Moria McStay, and it has a really beautiful cover. I don't know a whole lot about this book. The only thing that I really know about it is that it's about a girl who has scars on her face, and I'm not sure if it's about her story like dealing with that. It seems to be, and I think it's kind of like a contemporary novel, but I've heard mixed things about this book and I kind of just wanted to give it a shot and see how I liked it. The next book I got from my brother, and that is Seraphina by Rachel Hartman, and I'm so excited for this book. It's based all around dragons. That's pretty much all I know, and that's pretty much all I need to know after reading Talon. I am on a dragon kick, so I really wanted to read this book, and thankfully he picked it up for me, so I can't wait to read this. And then to top it off, my mother-in-law got me Shadow Scale, which is the second book in that series. I don't know how many books are going to be in this. I think it's just the 2 so far, but these covers are absolutely gorgeous, and I'm so glad that I have the first 2 so I can read them together, although they are pretty thick. She also got me I'll Meet You There by Heather Demetrios, and I think this is a contemporary novel. I want to say that it's kind of like a road trip book, but I could be like horribly wrong in describing that. I've never read anything else by this author before, so I'm really excited to give her a shot. So the rest of the books are books that I just picked up over the month of April, and there's quite a few left. I kind of went a little bit crazy this month. I guess I was celebrating my birthday all month. I got The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins, and this is kind of compared to Gone Girl, but I've heard a lot of people say that it's not really like Gone Girl. But I really am fond of suspense thriller novels, so I can't wait to try this one out, and it's not that long, so I think I can get through this one pretty quickly. This next book I tried to get on NetGalley, and unfortunately I did not get approved for it, so when I saw it on the shelf at Barnes & Noble, I had to pick it up, and it is Shutter by Courtney Alameda, I think. This cover is horrifying to me. It scares me, but I think that this book is going to be really, really interesting. I don't know too much about it, but the back says, if it's dead and mobile, it's her problem. So that kind of doesn't really tell you a whole lot, but I can't wait to read this, and I kind of want to go into it blindly just because I like scary books, but I don't really like to know a lot about them before I get into them. The next book that I picked up is The Miniaturist by Jessie Burton, and I picked this up because I was watching Reagan over at Peruse Project, and she was raving about this book, so I decided to snatch it up as soon as I saw it. It sounds like a good book. Not something that I would typically read, as it takes place in the 1600s, I believe. So this should be interesting, and hopefully I will enjoy it. The next book that I got is Falling Up by Shel Silverstein, and this is a book that I read growing up as a kid, and it's just full of all these funny poems and drawings, and some of them are kind of morbid. I was reading through it in the checkout line, and I was like, wow, some of these are pretty out there, but I really wanted to get it. This is the special edition with 12 new poems, and I don't own any Shel Silverstein books, so I wanted to add this to my collection. The next book that I picked up is Half Wild by Sally Green, and this cover is just as gorgeous as the Half Bad cover. I have read Half Bad and I really enjoyed it, despite, like, other people didn't seem to like that book as much, but I really liked it, so I decided to pick up the sequel to it. I think this is going to be a trilogy, but I'm not sure. I'm looking on the cover like it's going to tell me. I'm very excited to get into this one to learn more about the storyline and where it's heading, because the first book was kind of like, I don't know, from what I remember, it's kind of like a world building, character building type book, and it was a little bit slow to me, but I still really liked it, so I'm excited for this one. And the next one that I picked up is Yes Please by Amy Poehler, and I've heard good things about this book. I have a hard time reading humorous books by famous people. Not really a hard time reading them. I have a hard time finding them enjoyable, I guess. I read Tina Fey's Bossy Pants book, and I did not like it at all. I thought it was very dry humor. I don't know, I just didn't get it. But I've heard that if you listen to the audiobooks, they're better. But I decided to pick up this one as a hardcover because it has all of these different images in it, and I felt like I wouldn't get the same enjoyment out of it if I listened to the audiobook or read it on ebook. So I decided to pick up the hardcover, and I must say that it is very heavy. It has very thick pages, but it is relatively short. The next one that I picked up is the sequel to Dorothy Must Die, and it is The Wicked Will Rise by Daniel Page. I have not read Dorothy Must Die, and I need to get on that because I've heard nothing but amazing things about that book. So I need to read that so I can get onto this one. But I decided to pick it up just because I've heard so many good things about Dorothy Must Die. I figure, why not? It's probably going to live up to the hype, I think. And this one has a full color map of Oz, bonus scene, and more. And by a full color map of Oz, it means the dust jacket, which I think looks pretty awesome. And the covers of these books without the dust jackets are really awesome, I think. Okay, so we are down to 4 more books. So I picked up The Shock of the Fall by Nathan Filer. I think is how you pronounce his last name. I believe this is about 2 brothers, and they sneak out of their house one night, and only one of them comes back. And that's pretty much all I know about it, but I've heard really good things about it, so I figured I would give it a shot. However, I did pick this up at Target, and I cannot stand how they put this little club pick thing on there because it's not a sticker and it won't come off. Please tell me I'm not the only one annoyed by this. The next one that I picked up is The Vanishing Game by Kate K. Myers. I picked this up on a whim. I was browsing through Barnes & Noble and I saw it and I was like, that looks interesting because I like scary books. So I picked it up and read the back cover and I was sold. I think that this book is about twins, and one of them commits suicide, and then the living twin starts receiving letters from her deceased sibling. That's pretty much all that I remember from reading the synopsis, but to me that sounds really good. Next I picked up Unspoken by Sarah Reese Brennan, and this is part of the Lynburn Legacy, and this is book 1. I'm not sure how many books are in this, but I have heard really good things about this in the BookTube community, so I decided to pick this one up. I think it's kind of like a paranormal, supernatural book, but I'm not really sure. Regardless of that, I cannot wait to read this. I don't know, like, anything about it, really. But it does have blurbs by Cassandra Clare and Melissa Marr. Cassandra said, a sparkling fantasy that will make you laugh and break your heart. Melissa Marr says readers will laugh, shiver, and maybe even swoon over this modern gothic novel. And Tamara Pierce also says breathtaking, heartbreaking, a compulsive rocketing read. Those are some pretty amazing authors that are saying some awesome things about this book, so I'm definitely looking forward to reading this. And the last book that I have is The First 15 Lives of Harry August by Claire North. I also picked this up because of Reagan over at Peruse Project, who was talking about it and saying how good it is. So I went to Barnes & Noble on the hunt for this book, and unfortunately they only had the paperback edition and they only had 1 copy. So I decided to just go with the paperback. I really wanted the hardcover because I thought that it was a lot, I thought that the cover design was a lot better than the paperback cover design, but I still want to read it nonetheless. And this book is about, obviously, a boy named Harry August. The back says, no matter what he does or the decisions he makes, every time Harry dies, he always returns to where he began. A child with all the knowledge of a life lived a dozen times before. Nothing ever changes until now. As Harry nears the end of his 11th life, a little girl appears at his bedside. I nearly missed you, Dr. August, she says. I need to send a message. It goes on to say, this is the story of what Harry does next and what he did before and how he tries to save a past he cannot change and a future he cannot allow. So this book sounds really original, and whenever I watched Reagan's video, I was hooked and I decided that I needed to have this book in my life. So that is it for this book haul for April. Let me know in the comments below if you've read any of the millions of books that I just named off, and let me know which one you think I should read first. I kind of can't figure out what I want to read in May. I've already got a few books lined up, but I'm not completely sure of which ones I should read first. Also, please feel free to let me know in the comments what you will be reading this month. I would be very interested to know what's on your TBR for this month. So that is it for this video. I will have my April wrap up and my May TBR coming up shortly, so I will see you in my next video. Bye!